Let's draw Kirby. These are the basic shapes we'll be using as we draw. Let's get started. So first, I'm going to do this two ways. I'm going to have a Kirby here and a Kirby here. So I'm going to draw my circle here. Okay, loose and light circle. There we go. Practice your circles. Okay, for this drawing, Kirby's going to be looking straight at us. Pro tip here, when you do faces, draw a line right down the middle, divide it in half, and then divide that in half, like that. It's very light, but I have a line going straight down the middle here and a line going straight down the middle here. Okay. The first thing I'm going to do to give him a little bit of an anchor is draw his mouth. And his mouth is kind of like a triangle shape. Okay. Here I'm going to draw it at the top of this line. Now, if this was a person, right here's where their eyes will rest. Draw his rounded triangle mouth here. I think that's a little too big because I got to keep in mind I got to draw other features. Looks like a guitar pick. Do you see that? And then I'm going to draw his tongue, which is just a curve at the top here. And that's very common in anime drawings, if you see it. If you watch Pokemon, you'll see that. Now I'm going to draw his large oval eyes. I'm going to let them rest on this line that I drew across. One. Looks like a long potato or corn dog. Two. Now those may be a little too far apart, but it's okay. We're learning here. Trying to make them equal, just like that. I'll go ahead and draw the light spot, which is a circle and a circle. I'm not going to shade them in yet, just in case I need to change anything. And then Kirby has two ovals, which are his cheeks or his blush spots, like that. Okay? How's your Kirby looking so far? Next, I'm going to draw his feet. I'm going to draw them very lightly. And Kirby's feet they look like big ovals or potatoes. From all the pictures I've seen, the best I can judge, they kind of look like that. So you have the sole here, the toes, and the heel. So right here, I'm going to draw a loose oval at an angle. Just like that. Now, it's not a perfect oval, as you can see, so I'm going to angle this up, round at the top a little bit, and then come out so that it looks like it has this kind of a slope to it. And a very subtle point to the toe here. Then I'm going to come in and draw the next foot, and I'm going to come meet the middle line here and draw the toes out. Just like an oval, do you see that? But I'm not going to draw that part heavy because it needs to be light. Like that. So this foot's behind him. This foot's in front of him. All right? I'm going to erase this line so that you can see that better. There we go. So, how's he looking so far? Okay. Now, this is called a line of action. So this foot is in the back, and what you're going to see is the line of action starts with this foot, curves up into his hand to continue that motion. Now, some of the artwork I've seen of Kirby, this hand can be out a little bit, it can be up further, kind of going with a medium position here. But it's also Kirby, his hands either have like a rounded shape like this or more of a pointed shape like that. You get to pick which kind you want. I'm giving mine just a little bit of a point. If you see that, it's a little more pointed here, not quite as round. But you're seeing the top of that curve here, and then I'm just going to come in and curve very lightly in the lines here, but I'm not going to go all the way. Okay, so this arm's pointing up. This arm's going to be to the side here in the back. This starts right about the eye line at the top, and it comes all the way down to the halfway mark on the circle. Just like that. Now this arm's a little big. Make it a little bit smaller here. When you compare the two, this is why we draw loose and light, so we can erase. I like him so far, so I'm going to go ahead and shade his eyes with a zigzag shade. This is something you need to practice. Like that. Shade the inner mouth above that curve, and then lightly shade his tongue. I'm going to shade the blush lines on his cheeks. And if you wanted to, you could shade in his shoes here, because his shoes are a darker red. His body is pink. You know Kirby, right? Okay, so that's our first Kirby. Take just a second, let you catch up. Now we're going to draw Kirby in a different position. We're going to turn him slightly so that he's not facing us head on. Okay, and I'm going to show you a little trick to do that. All right. Second circle. Loose and light. I'm not very good with straight lines, so that's why I kind of scratch out my lines sometimes. Okay, so there's our circle. Not too bad. Now, I'm going to highlight these because I want you to make sure you see this. Okay, do you see that plus sign in the middle? I divided his face in half vertically, and I divided his face in half horizontally. Okay, so if I want this guy to be looking in this direction, do you see that? How am I going to draw this? I don't want to draw it straight up and down because that would make him looking at us head on. I want him to be looking up and to the side. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that line and follow the curve of the circle. Still needs to be in the center, but it's turned slightly. Just like that. Okay? So it's not this, it's this. Do you see? Now, I don't want to draw the line straight across here. I want, because he needs to be looking up. Curve the line up slightly. Do you see? So it's not that straight across line, it's a curved line. So now, if I put his eyes on here, they're going to be looking in this direction. Okay? This is very helpful too if you're drawing people, because this is how you draw your people with their heads looking in different directions. Think three-dimensional shapes, right? Because the other side of that circle would be about like that, and the other side would be about like that. Okay? Okay, so on this one, I'm going to make his mouth really big, like he's about to swallow something. So I'm going to draw a big oval. The smaller end at the top, big bottom. Okay, and what I did is kept it centered. Okay, so I still have it the very top on that line here, halfway. Okay, remember he's looking to the side and up. Going to draw his tongue. Big half oval. You see that? Now I want to draw his eyes. His eyes are not going to be straight. They're going to be on a curve, right? Draw his eyes, which are still the ovals, but they need to be curved slightly. Just like that. Do you see how they follow the curve of the circle or the ball? Give him the light spot. Okay. My circle's not perfect, but it'll work. All right. So now he's looking more to the side and up slightly. Oop, forgot his little cheek blushes there. His feet, classic Kirby pose here, are in the back. About half to 2/3 of that oval shape. And then just a little bit on the other foot there. He's at an angle, so you'll see this side and this foot more than this side, right? Because this one's more behind him. Don't forget his shoes, if I were looking at them, the soles of his feet, a little more pointy at the bottom. The heel here, the toes here, more pointy at the toes. Okay. Now I'm going to have these arms coming out to the side, almost like he's flying. Okay. You're going to see more of that arm because you see more of that side, and then I'll come over here and draw just a little bit of this side. Okay. I like him so far. I'm going to go ahead and zigzag shade his eyes, inner mouth, lightly do his tongue. Practice, practice, practice. And for this, I'll go ahead and shade his shoes, cheek lines. This is something you need to practice, okay? They'll say you don't really care for Kirby. That's fine. But you need to practice putting faces on curves. Because what that'll help you do is, let's say you want to draw a face. Okay, I'm going to draw a head here. There's my circle. We'll try to draw a person's face. So he's going to be looking to the side. Eyes. See how I'd curve that plane? Nose, mouth, eyebrows. Just like that. Do you see that? And that helps. Because what I did was I started with the circle for the top of the skull, basically, head. Drew an oval, but then I curved that line, and that helps me turn the character to the side. Okay? Make sure you practice this. Practice makes better. Do you like this? This is sweetness right here. This is my bling. I like to look good for the camera, and so I tried to make myself look all nice and fancy. If you want to draw well, you got to look good. You know what I'm saying?
Remember to like and subscribe to this channel. Also, consider supporting this project on Patreon.